Hey guys, it has been a long while since I've done one of these type of videos, these collect vlog videos, BlackCross collect game series and stuff like that. This has been a long while, guys, so I figured I'd go ahead and do another one, especially since it has been such a long time. But the only reason why it's been a long time was simply because, well, COVID-19. What can you say? It has kind of slowed down a little bit and stuff like that to where I really couldn't do anything, much less leave the house, without wondering how the outside area is going to be like and stuff. And while my hometown has not been a major hit or anything like that, well, it has been to a certain degree, but I mean, not enough to where it's, like, noticeable, compared to, like, other cities and stuff like that. They have been hit extremely hard by not only COVID-19, pandemic-wise. It's been like riots and stuff, and it's like, it's kind of scary to kind of go out there, gallivanting, collecting games and stuff. Well, thankfully, a friend of mine has recently told me that he just had come from Knoxville, and he said that they've been actually well controlled, and in terms of COVID-19, they've been very, very, very well done. And it's like, okay. And this is a guy who is extremely, like, we're talking like severe phobia level wise of just this COVID-19, which is completely understandable. It truly is. And so it's like, as soon as he mentioned it, I was like, well, let's go ahead and do another adventure of ours. And we finally did. And yeah, I have a lot to showcase. So not only do I have stuff that I've collected in the past several months, keep in mind the last one I've done was back in like January. And here we are in practically September now, so it's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and just show all the spoils that we've built up, along with the journey that we went through. So, yeah, we have a lot to show off. So first off, I wanted to go ahead and show off this particular thing right here. This is the Devil May Cry 5th anniversary collection. Now, here's the thing. Technically, I had a 5th anniversary, but it was not this version, actually. It was a different version. That version is more or less just Dante from Devil May Cry 3, pasted on a white background with, like, the 3 mentioned games on the cover. And it's like, compared to this one, that one looked like as though as if it was photoshopped, and it's like, someone just put it together just for the lulz or whatever. This one, however, looks like there was some actual detailing and dedication put into it. Some form of style actually being made. Record, yes, it still has Dante on the cover from Devil May Cry 3, but compared to that other one, this one actually looks really, really cool. And when I found out about it actually exists of an alternate version, I was like, I have to get this version. And it's like, now that I've got it, it's like, it looks really cool, and I absolutely love it. But it is a little bit on the pricey side. But keep in mind, 3 games, all 3 games, it makes sense for the price. So I was like, I was able to get mine for at least 25 bucks on eBay, of course. And, obviously people are skeptical about purchasing anything online. I can assure you, so long as you wait long enough and everything like that, there's nothing to worry about. And, a lot of people will say, wait up to 14 days, which is 2 weeks, And so far, that has been carried through fruitionally. That has carried through 100%. And I agree with the same way. If you wait 14 days at least, you'll be perfectly fine. And if you're in good health, to a certain degree, I think, I think a lot of people are skeptical about the idea of how good a health you will be. But if you're careful and everything like that, you should be fine. So, but when I got this, I was very happy. Not only because of the fact that, Devil May Cry, obviously, but I got a really cool version of the 5th year anniversary. This is actually a really cool looking one, in my personal opinion. Next up, we have Dragon's Crown. This is going to be one of many games that I'm going to be referring to whenever I get to them. Technically, I had Dragon's Crown on the PlayStation 3, but I wanted to get an upgrade version for the PS4. Now, of course, with the exception of the PS2 games that I've been collecting and stuff like that, there's something you should know about me, and that is my relationship with the PlayStation 3. And the PlayStation 3 and me are not exactly the best of friends. Number one, it was probably, in my personal opinion, one of the weakest systems that Sony has ever released since like that of the PS1. The PS1, you can argue, came out when it first came out years ago, the very first one. Then the PS2 became the most highest selling, not only that, but also the most popular system of all time. But then the PlayStation 3 comes around, and it kind of decreased the value, unfortunately, of PlayStation in genuine. And so, to me, personally, myself, it was very weak when it came to game releases and stuff. Compared to the PS4, it has successfully done well to pick up and everything like that. But the PlayStation 3 was unfortunately lesser well made. But not only that, but the hardware itself. It's sad to kind of see the hardware for the PlayStation 3 not be as versatility as like the PS4 has been. The PS4 has been an amazing system, in my personal opinion. It has run really great. Yes, you know, the years has aged it to where the fan kicks in a little bit more often, obviously, but that's aside the point. The point is that the PS4 runs much better, much more smoother, actually, compared to that of the PS3. And that's obviously due to the fact that it is able to push out games at 1080p with ease and at 60 frames per second. You know, for the Pro is 4K, obviously. But since I've got the regular PS4, and keep in mind, you know, I don't have a 4K television, so there's no reason to upgrade the system, it has run really, really well, especially for games that run for the Pro specifically, but it still runs them really well. And I figured, you know what, Dragon's Crown is a really good game. I really do love it. I do enjoy it. And so I was like, let's upgrade it to the PS4. But not only that, and this is the weird one right here, this is the hardback steelbook version. So you see, this is the cover, and this is the steelbook that you see here. I really, really love the steelbook. It looks very, very nice. But here's the weird part. The steelbook was on Amazon for 16 bucks. You try to get the regular version of Dragon Crown for PS4, not the steelbook version, the regular case version is 25 bucks. A $10, almost a $10 difference when you think about it. And it's like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's for $16? Really? So I was like, you know what? In case somehow it gets turned around, let's go ahead and get the PS4 version of Dragon's Crown so we can get the steelbook case version of it. And I'm glad I did, because it looks really good. I do love it. So obviously, of the other two games that I've gotten that was originally for the PlayStation 3 that I'm upgrading to PS4 is the Uncharted collection, being that of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, Assassin's Creed 3. Both of them, I wanted to go ahead and upgrade to the PS4 versions because obviously they will run better on them. But also, too, these feature two of my favorite games, technically. You have, of course, Assassin's Creed 3, which is my favorite game of the series. And, of course, this one, Uncharted 2. And I love the Uncharted games. I still need to play the fourth one eventually. But I love the Uncharted games, and I figured, what the hell, go ahead and pick this up and play it. And from what I've heard from a friend of mine, because of the fact that this was remastered for PS4, it completely negates the online mode that was in 2 and 3, which means you can get the Platinum Trophy with ease with this version because they don't include the trophy support that's on the online version. So, in other words, I'm going to probably play this again for the trophies as well. But still happy to pick these two up. They were fairly cheap. They were like 20 bucks each, really. So it's like, you know what? They're cheap enough. Let's upgrade them to the PS4. I was very happy to get them both when I did. And while technically it was only digitally downloaded for the PlayStation 3 at the time, and technically the first time I played it was on the PlayStation 2, I went on ahead and got Resident Evil 4 for PS4. So it's like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get the PS4 version. Again, much like the other two, this one was relatively cheap at the time that I purchased, so I was like, you know what, let's go on ahead and get it, and that way I can play it, and it'll be on the PS4. Continuing on, we have Nioh 2 that I had gotten. I didn't get it when it first launched, but I did go ahead and get it when they reduced it in price. They practically marked it down to $29.99, 30 bucks, so it's like, you know what, that's as low as it's probably going to get for a long while, let's go ahead and pick it up. and that way I can go ahead and play Neo 2 whenever I get a chance. So I'm definitely happy I got this. You guys know that I had recently played through Dragon Quest XI, the definitive edition for the Switch. I got it throughout the time, and needless to say, I absolutely love this, and I'm definitely excited to get the PS4 version whenever it comes out. So definitely looking forward to that one. On my birthday, my younger brother got me a couple of games. They are Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, as well as Plants vs. Zombie. This one might be the most expensive game that I probably have in my, not in terms of my collection overall. That one technically goes to, unfortunately, Blood Would Tell in terms of price-wise. But out of the collection that I built up for this video, this is the most expensive game that I bought in for this period, and that is Einhander. For those of you that don't know what Einhander is, it's a PlayStation 1 game, basically a shooter game, or shoot 'em up, depending on how you want to call it. And, you know, I have technically seen gameplay, and technically I have done a ROM of it whenever the PS1 Classic thing was, and I hacked it, and I had this game on it. And I played a little bit of it because technically Kingdom Hearts 3's Gummy Ship mission was done from the team that did Einhander. So after doing that, I decided to try it out a little bit on the ROM, and I played it and I loved it. So I was like, I want to get the PS1 version, the original case version. And so I did, and it cost me 90 bucks. I'm not gonna lie, pretty pricey for what it is, but it's like, we gotta try it out. We gotta play it, you know? We gotta play it to try it out to see what it's like. Another Switch game that I got is obviously The World Ends With You Final Remix. I was about to call it Remix version, but it's Final Remix. I have Yakuza 6 on PS4, so I have been actually slowly gaining interest in wanting to look into the Yakuza franchise. A lot of people have been bragging about this game series, and especially, most recently, every Yakuza game that has ever been remastered is remastered, or in this case remaked, I guess you could say, for the PS4. In fact, recently, within like a couple of months from now, another Yakuza game known as Yakuza Like a Dragon will be available for PS4 within the next couple of months. Now, that one's more turn-based compared to how the rest of the series has played out. But, you know, after playing Yakuza on the PS2 for my PlayStation 2 Legacy series, that was very interesting. That was actually a really interesting game. I really loved it. So I was like, you know what, after playing that, let's hop into the PS4 realms of the Yakuza franchise, especially since, you know, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this are remastered, or are remake, whatever you want to call them. They're all available for the PlayStation 4. That many games. And technically this was available for like 15 bucks at GameStop, and I was like, you know what? Let's try them out. I want to try them out. I want to play all of them and see what they're like, see how they are, how they pair up, if they're good or not, you know, I just want to play them. And then, of course, we have a physical version of Kingdom. I'm going to be doing a review on this game, because recently I downloaded the Twin Treasury Collection that they had digitally available on the PlayStation 4 store. However, I also found out that technically they had a limited run version of it, but unfortunately I missed out on that months back, or maybe it was like over a year, I don't know, but either way I missed out on that one, until I found out that this was going to be available physically, officially. So this is not just a limited run, this is officially available, although for some reason it's technically considered a limited run. I don't know why, because whenever I scanned it on my phone app, it registered as a limited run, and I'm like, that's not right. It was available on sale for Amazon. Then again, Amazon does have some limited run games, and there are some retailers, mostly retro stores, who do have an abundance of the limited run games, depending on. Either way, I have the physical version of Kingdom, and technically it says so on the cover. It says includes both original Kingdom's New Lands and Kingdom's Two Crowns. So definitely am happy that I've got this, and I'm looking forward to playing it even further, because I've been loving the game actually. In fact, I've been actually addicted to it. Probably more so than I should be. And now, technically, I didn't buy this. My younger brother bought them, technically. And that is the Destroy All Humans for PS2. And then the remake, Destroy All Humans as well. Now, occasionally, I do actually collect strategy guides from time to time, depending on the game, and depending on if I feel like I have to have the strategy guide for that game. And very few games where I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just go ahead and look it up on YouTube or FAQs and stuff like that. But this particular game, I thought to myself, I was like, you know what, because of what it is and because of what all it contains, followed by the fact of how it looks, and I love the game itself too, so I was like, you know what, let's get the collector's edition of this book as well. And it is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild hardback edition, and technically this is the version that also includes the expanded DLC ports of Breath of the Wild. So it contains everything. It's got the main game followed by the DLC portion of it, so it contains a lot of stuff. I mean, look at this book. I think next to this, the other biggest book of strategy guide that I've got is Final Fantasy 15, which that only contains the base stuff of Final Fantasy 15, not so much the DLC and stuff, it's just the base game. But this is the biggest one. This is an actual book. You could actually use this as a weapon and knock somebody out. In fact, I guarantee you can probably fight a Lionel with this book. Probably not be as effective, but you could probably fight a Lionel with this book. It's just, again, I love the game, I love it so much. So I thought to myself, I definitely want to go ahead and grab a guidebook. You know, if for some reason one day I'm that crazy and insane and I just want to play through the game and keep playing it up till I do everything, complete everything and stuff of that nature. So who's to say when I might lose my mind? I might eventually just devolve and my brain just loses itself and be like, you know what, fuck this world, I'm diving into Breath of the Wild. In which case, yeah, that's my world. And now we're moving on into the pop figure line of ways. So I've collected quite a bit of pop figures, not quite as much as the games that I've collected, but the pop figures I have been collecting. So first off, I want to go ahead and show off Geralt gaming moment fighting, I forgot what this creature is called again, but either way, when I saw this at GameStop, I was like, you know what, technically I've only got one pop figure moment, and that's technically the Star Wars moment where it has C-3PO and R2-D2 from episode 4. And it's like, that's technically the only moment that I've got, technically. There have been many others that have been made since then, but technically they were all movie related stuff. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, I want to see what others they have. Hopefully they'll have not only video game movies, or movies, and much less video game moments, but hopefully they might come up with some more anime moments. Technically, they've got like a handful of them, but I'm hoping for like Pacific ones, you know, stuff that I'm a big fan of, obviously. But it's like, you know what, if there are other gaming moments, which I hope there will be eventually in time, this one looks really cool. I love how it looks, especially considering the fact that you have Geralt, which is from The Witcher 3, and I love The Witcher 3, so it's like, you know what, we gotta get this. Now, what I'm about to show you, technically I am not a fan, nor have I played the Dota game, much less Dota 2, which is technically what this is based on. But I got this guy right here. I've got this demonic armor-looking creature with a flame sword. I love how he looks. He looks so flippin' awesome. He is a major badass looking pop figure. I love how it looks. And you know what's weird? Technically this is not the first Dota pop figure that I have. I technically have another one that I mentioned in a video a while back. And it's like, you know, I've never played the game and I doubt I ever will. But I love how they look. Both of them look extremely awesome. And this one is especially awesome looking. And now technically, I have known about this actually coming out in pop figure form for quite some time. But whenever I saw them, They were at my Walmart, of all places. That is the crazy thing. They came out of my Walmart. I saw them. I had to have them. They are the Wallace and Gromit pop figures. Yes, the Wallace and Gromit pop figures. I love Wallace and Gromit. It's an awesome stop motion movie slash series to get into and stuff. I love them. So I had to get these figures, but not only that, but they also made Shaun the Sheep. You know, when it comes to pop figures, you know, I'm so glad that they are now making them more stylized, and because of that, we now get to see different kind of figures that we normally would never see in pop figure form due to the base form that they are known for years. But now that they are more stylized, we're now getting more unique character design looks, especially when looking at like Wallace and Gromit per se. So it's like, yeah, it is awesome looking, and I'm so glad that they made them, because that gives me an opportunity to have figures that I didn't think I was going to have figures of, especially Wallace and Gromit wise. And now technically this is part of a series run that Funko Pop is doing technically, but I decided just to get this one only, and that is this guy right here. This is technically part of the Around the World Funko Pop figure line, and this is Japan. I forgot the name that they gave this dog, but it's so cool looking. I love how he looks. Now we can finally start on to the vast collection of games and stuff that I have gotten from my trip to Knoxville. Now, we only stopped into one place, and that was McKay's bookstore. I wanted to go into McKay's bookstore specifically because I had some sayings that I could trade in that I didn't really care much for and stuff like that. And you know what? I figured, let's just go ahead to McKay's and see how they're handling COVID-19. And they're handling it quite well, actually. They're doing it based on vehicles rather than person. So in other words, if you went with a friend or something like that, you were limited to like a maximum of 4 totes of stuff. You know, 2 for like games and movies and books, or in what they call books slash disc, and another tote for like others. So it's like, that's how they were doing it. So I had a whole bunch of stuff. Me and Delmar both went and stuff like that, and we did very well. And I've scored big, you know. It was like I had quite a bit of stuff built up and stuff over the past couple of months that I've been isolating myself indoors and stuff as best as I could. You know, I still had to go to work and everything like that, but I built up quite a lot of stuff. But this is like a big freaking haul, so get ready for the long list of stuff that I have gotten through this journey. So first off, we have Battle Chasers Night War. I also got me Warriors Orochi, both 1 and 2 for PS2. They're technically part of the Dynasty Warrior lineup of games, as well as a series known as Samurai Warriors. So I was like, let's go ahead and pick these up and see what they're like. Then we had Kingo, Master of Bushido. We have Tetris Worlds. I figured, you know what, again, this was cheap. But also, too, I love Tetris. Tetris is an easy game for me to get addicted to. I know that technically I didn't label it as one of my favorite games of all times, but really, Tetris is a simple game. And plus, Tetris, it is universal. You can pretty much find it anywhere, any system. So I was like, you know what? PlayStation 2, get to play an addicting game out of it. Why not? We also have Red Dead Revolver. Definitely want to try this out, especially for it being on the PS2. And technically, I have gotten seasons 1 through 4 of this particular series, but I have yet to have gotten the 5th season. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, it's season 5 of Samurai Jack. Yes! Going back to the list of games that I have upgraded from the PlayStation 3 to the PS4, obviously we have Dragon's Dogma. Played it on the PlayStation 3, loved it, heard that it was going to be on the PS4, and I thought, because of the frame rate on the PlayStation 3, you gotta get it for the PlayStation 4. Hopefully it improves those things, I'll know in due time, but I'm so glad to have gotten it this one right here. Then of course we have Devil May Cry HD Collection for PS4, and technically I had gotten it for the PlayStation 3, but I had yet to have played it, but I went on ahead and got the upgraded version of it, which is Catherine Full Body Edition. And I've also gotten the Steelbook version of this game. So it's like, I'm looking forward to diving into this game when I get a chance. Of course, naturally speaking, whenever I get to that point. I also have Valkyria Revolution. And you know what's the crazy thing is? It is still in a sealed box. And you see the price, $16 for the, what I suppose is the collector's edition. May not be the full-on collector's edition, but it's a collector's edition of some form nonetheless. Love the original Valkyria Chronicles, so I had to get the Revolution one, but since this is technically sealed, the only reason why I got it was because of the pin. I love how this pin looks. It looks cool. Plus, I've been collecting emerald pins for quite some time now. I've built up quite the collection. So I was like, you know what, let's do this. But I saved the unboxing part of it for this video alone because I want to piss off those poor, miserable fuckers of collectors who just save them just for pure value. I'm not for value, guys. I am for entertainment. And if I love it, I'm going to unbox it and enjoy it in its full capacity. So even if somehow down the road, surprisingly, a sealed version of this game goes out for like 200 or so bucks, to be honest, I'm going for this because I love how it looks. Hopefully the game is going to be fun and entertaining as well. It also comes with a soundtrack too, so definitely want to listen to the soundtrack whenever I get to that point. Plus, I want to display that pin so badly, so I mean, look at this. That's actually a sealed box within a sealed box as well, so what's stopping the madness now? I've lost my mind, actually, have I not? There we go, completely unboxed and no longer sealed. And then, of course, the one thing that I've been wanting to get my hands on, I gotta open from the other side now, apparently, because, yeah, it ain't wanting to come out that easy. I mean, you have to unbox it whenever you want to take a closer look at something. I mean, that is pretty. That is very pretty. I've been collecting pins for a while now, and this one is being added to the collection. I love how it looks. It just, oh my gosh. Continuing on, we have Styx Shards of Darkness. I've been actually hearing about this game for quite some time. Technically, there was a game that came out before this one. As far as I know, it's only available digitally here in the States, but they had a sequel out of it, and it became available as a physical version. So, when I saw the game, it looks interesting to me. It's basically a Goblin Thief game, and it's like, you know what, just because of how interesting it looks, let's go ahead and pick this up and see what it's like. So, it has my interest. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, I found out that technically I still had the first one. Having that mobile app version definitely helps for keeping track of your collection. But then I saw that the second one was on the shelf, and I was like, well, I gotta get this since I don't have the second one. Moonlighter. I saw this game, and of course it's a bit, it's sort of like a Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past type style game, you know, over the head and all that stuff. It has some interesting gameplay in my personal opinion, but here's what's even more interesting. Technically, you play as a shopkeeper who ventures into the mine, and the spoils that he gets to keep and sell it in his shop. I thought that's an interesting concept, actually. I kind of like that concept alone. Interesting enough for me to actually dive into it. And then it wasn't until I was in McKay that I saw this as a physical version, and I was like, well, this was a game that had my interest, so let's go ahead and pick it up anyway. And so now we go into a pop figure. Technically, I have like, what? 4, 5, 6, wait, what? It's like, okay, Kingdom Hearts 2, Lion version, regular Kingdom Hearts 3, dual guns, monster, then him riding the Heartless, 6 versions of Sora! And now I have a 7th one, and this one is the Sora with the ultimate weapon version Sora. And then finally, to add on into the list of stuff that I've gotten from McKay's, I looked at this and I was like, you know what, I've got to get a good version of it. And that is Kingdom Hearts 1 Strategy Guide. Now, technically, if I'm not mistaken, I still have one somewhere in this apartment. I don't know where, but it's very battered up. I mean, we're talking really battered. But when you look at this, aside from a few hairline scratches, it is still in really good condition. But another reason is because it still has the map booklet that you get along with the original stickers that come with it. It still has its original stuff. So it's like, it has every original aspect. Technically, as a kid, I took those out as a way of tracking it. I wish I hadn't have done that because I don't have it anymore. But since it still has it, why not go ahead and grab it, you know? So this is the original McCoy of Strategy Guides. And technically, you know, this was before Brady Games not only sadly went out of business, you know, they're no longer making guidebooks now. Much less physical guidebooks, and it's like this one is obviously mostly going to be for display purposes, obviously, and really I know some people are going to be like, why would you have a guidebook for a game that you have played probably more times than you probably would care to admit, which I probably played that more than 20-30 times now at this rate. I would not doubt in my mind that I played it up to 30 times, but it's like, really in all honesty, Kingdom Hearts 1 is special to me, so why not try to keep something original close to Kingdom Hearts 1 as possible? And this is really good, and it's really good condition. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually one of the first strategy guides that I have ever gotten as a kid, technically. You know, it's one of the very first guidebooks that I've ever gotten. There hadn't been any other guidebooks that I've gotten as a kid before Kingdom Hearts 1, so it's like, whenever I got Kingdom Hearts 1, I think this was actually legitimately the first strategy guide that I've gotten. And I think, you know, because of the fact that technically I wanted to 100% complete Kingdom Hearts 1 back whenever I was younger to find out about this secret video that people talked about, I wanted to get the guidebook to where I knew all of the stuff that needed to be gotten. Keep in mind, back then, the internet wasn't as big as it was now, so it's like, yeah, that's just a story to have. So it's like, glad to have this. Definitely am looking forward to displaying it as a collectible for my vast collection of Kingdom Hearts stuff. I actually do plan on doing it. I don't know how I'm going to go about it, but I plan on doing like a Kingdom Hearts Tower collection thing. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I plan on doing this sometime in the future. But still, yeah, glad I got it. Well guys, that's going to be a wrap up for this video. I have been at this for over 50 minutes now of recording. Obviously, I'm going to be cutting out all the slow bits and stuff like that, so it's going to be reduced to like maybe 40 minutes depending. But that is all the stuff that I've been collecting for the past couple of months, as well as the stuff that I gotten from McKay's. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been one of the longest collection videos that I have done in a long while. And keep in mind, it's been months since my last one, so good to be back. I do want to go ahead and make one important announcement, and that is I will be doing actual photos of the stuff that I collect and posting them on Twitter. I mean, I'll still do my collection vlog videos on YouTube, but only whenever I build up enough of them. So technically, in the future from here on out, I'll be taking pictures of all the stuff that I collect over the months, and then ultimately build up to another video whenever the collection builds up to where I can do another one of these highlight of the stuff that I collect. But for the time being right now, I will post them on Twitter, because I don't do a lot on Twitter. I need to be doing more on Twitter, but from here on out, they will be posted on Twitter, obviously. But I'll do highlight reels for these type of things continuing on still, so don't worry about that. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you'll still get to see them on the video, but do follow me on Twitter just to get them a head start. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. And It's good to be back in the collection scene. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit while longer, but we will get through this eventually. But still, enjoy your day. Enjoy what you love. I always do, regardless of how hard it gets. So enjoy your day. See you in the next one.